Welcome, fam, to the Week 12 2024 recap. I'm here with my co-host, Bob.
How's it going?
Bob, it's good to have you on. We were just talking about how you're just going to be penciled in for the week of Thanksgiving each year to
Yeah,
do the podcast.
Thanksgiving Bob.
Thanksgiving, Bob. Well, I like that. We'll call it that. So no one else can request that. Just know that Bob's going to be on every Thanksgiving. Um, and it's basically due to both of our schedules. You have bowling every Tuesday night.
Yep.
And what year are we going on now for your bowling league?
5 or 6, something like
Nice.
that.
Have you gotten better each time? Like every year? Do you feel like you're getting
Uh,
better at bowling?
nah, I'm kind of just like steady now or
Yeah.
whatever. I bowled a 600 series last night out of 3 games. So,
Nice, dude.
yeah, it's a pretty
That's
good
got
night.
what is your average?
Uh, I'm not exactly, they don't have it on there. Like last night, I bowled a 201, a 204, and then a 208. So,
Nice.
but
Yeah, that's
usually
great.
I'm like right in like the 180s and stuff. So,
That's still really, really good.
yeah. Your new ball been working good?
Yeah, I sent y'all the one. First game, I bowled a 127. It was not as good. I was like learning the ball, learning the
Yeah,
lane a bit.
getting your line.
Yeah, but the second game felt much better to where I could find it and find how the ball was reacting to the lane. Um, my friend that I go with, she bowled like a 181 or something like that in her first game. And then she bowled, as you probably saw, I don't know if it was on that one, but like a 150 something. She's a pretty good bowler.
Nice.
But we talked about getting into a league. But they're expensive, man. Like, do you pay per week?
Yeah, so our league, it's not like a sanctioned league or anything. It's called just for fun league. But there's 8 teams, and then you pay $13 a week. You get 3 games for $13.
Oh, that's pretty good. She was telling me theirs up here was like 22 bucks
Oh
a
yeah,
week.
that I don't know. It might be different up there or whatever, but it's always been 13.
But I'm sure it's kind of like based on what you win because she was telling me there's all like you win money, you can win money each week or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
so yeah, they probably do that because they're putting it into a pot. Ours isn't for like money or anything. It's just for kind of bragging rights. But it's kind of like the same group every year. It's a bunch of work people.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool though that
yeah,
you do that.
yeah. We do a little bit of gambling. We got like a giant deck of cards. It's probably like 3 decks, but everybody puts in $1, and then every strike or spare that you get to
You
draw a card,
cool.
and then you can have up to 10 or 12 cards or whatever, and whoever can make the best hand at the end of their game. Everybody,
At the end of one game or the series.
no, just one game,
Got it.
one game. It restarts every time because all the other teams about bowl the same pace and all that. So
Got it. That's pretty cool, man.
yeah, it's not bad. Sometimes win like $15 or so.
Well, again, I appreciate you hopping on, and you'll be Thanksgiving Bob moving forward. That works with my schedule too as a baker during this time frame. So it works out well. But let's hop into this, man. So this is a much a smaller deck, I would call it, I guess, for the PowerPoint side of it. But
Right?
we're just gonna hit up the Week 12's matchups, what happened this past week, and see why some people may have won and others may have not done as well. And then we'll hit the comment of the week and wrap up with the Week 13 matchups. There's no injury report or waiver wire or trades because we didn't have any to talk about. And obviously the other two came out yesterday. So hopefully we can keep this short for these people for this Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's roll. I'm gonna hook us up here, get us a little thinner. Our first ass whooping this week was the Cases Ace, Indianapolis Cases Aces scored almost 131 points compared to Meow Meow's 68. What did you see here that may have caused such an ass whooping this week?
Well, only problem I'm gonna have here is my phone. I can't really see, so I'm gonna get kind of close. uh, yeah, I can't even see anything
No,
really.
that's all right.
I got horrible eyesight. My bad.
So for Casey, I mean, it ended up being a 55 point, victory for Case's aces, but ultimately Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin go off for 57.5 points combined. And this
Right.
was the trade that he had made with Zach to get Terry McLaurin, obviously helping him out here. Uh, did you get to catch any of that game of the?
I did not. I saw highlights. I saw that like towards the end there, that big McLaren pass catch.
Yeah,
So I could definitely see that.
dude, but
Putting up
that's a
some
big
points
swing in the
for him.
game.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and then on Glenn's side, well, his defense cost him 7 points. Again, I think we had another one like that last week where the defense cost you heavy points. But um, what's happened to, like the Green Bay wide receivers? I thought Jaden Reed was supposed to be their top guy, and he just hasn't seemed to be that for him as of late.
Right, right. Yeah, I thought Jaden Reed would have done something too. I'm gonna try. Oh, there we go. Can you still
That
see me?
Yeah, I see you perfectly,
Okay.
man.
Okay, cool.
Bob's got
Because
in case you're not watching, Bob has the thing to blur out the background uh behind him. So we can't see anything, he's doing illegal stuff behind him.
yeah, you
So
guys can't. Don't look at me. Don't worry about it.
don't look at that. But yeah, Casey delivered an ass whooping to Glenn this week. But it wasn't the only ass whooping that was delivered. Uh the Cheesehead Champions delivered an ass whooping to the Laws of Allonomics, and actually in the process, EJ got high score of the week this week. So kudos to you, EJ. I think that's 2 weeks in a
Nice.
row for
Yeah,
EJ.
nice.
Um, if you're able to see the screen, anything that you note here as to why EJ may have taken him so heavily?
Buffalo Bills are on bye week, and the Jets.
Yeah, he had to throw this sub team together, I guess you'd
Yep.
call it,
And
right?
he did. I didn't think that like Noah Gray. He did pretty good for him
Yeah, that was a
for
good,
Zach.
great pickup.
And then I thought that running back for the Raiders. I can't really see the points, but I thought he got a touchdown. I was like, he was scoring points.
Yeah, Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, Abdullah.
He
Yeah,
had a good game. No, that was another good pickup.
yeah.
So I think you're
But
right. Zach did well with what he could to pick up people to play.
right.
So kudos to him on that. On the
Yeah,
other side, for the Cheesehead champions, Josh Jacobs has gotten 20 plus points 4 of the last 5 games. So
yeah. He's kind of like rejuvenated this year. He's been doing good.
yeah, he's number
And
7 in our league at the
and then
position.
I saw Dobbins went down. That's tough for EJ
Yeah,
for the coming week. I didn't see how bad it was though, so I don't really know too much about the injury. Maybe Dr. Sam will say something.
well, we'll see if we can get an update, I guess, from Dr. Sam. But he did comment yesterday that it was just too soon because it
Right,
was the Monday night game. They just didn't have enough info.
right,
But J.K. Dobbins always goes down to some injury every year, so in a sense, it feels expected.
right,
But one of the things they've talked about this year is that these older running backs really haven't, older running backs or running backs who are consistently injured haven't been this year.
right,
It's been a weird, kind of, I guess, year for them. But yeah, for J.K. Dobbins going down, that definitely hurts EJ a little bit because he was pretty hot, you know, or had been played pretty well this year. But yeah, having that potential loss. for the entire season. We'll see. Could hurt him. All right. We had another ass whipping, man. Another big time butt kicking, and I got to deliver an ass whooping to Tyler this week. So the Denzel Winningtons whooped up on Murphy's Law this week. Uh, Trey McBride and Kyler Murray connection. I like seeing the connection because Trey McBride's had some big games.
Right.
I'm disappointed in Kyler Murray. However, at the same time, if those point totals were flipped, then I'm feeling okay about it because then Kyler would have had 20 and Trey would have had 10. So can't complain with the combo at least getting what they should get at that point. Um, but anything that you noted from this matchup?
Mm, yeah. Well, CJ Stroud, he didn't. He got 20 points. Jonathan Taylor for Tyler,
Yeah.
not doing nothing. That
Did you
was
watch?
tough.
Did you watch that game?
I watched the first quarter and I was kind of out of it after that. I saw what was going down. So I was like, I'm out of here.
Well, I didn't get to watch it here. You know, it wasn't televised here, but I saw the lack of scoring, I'll say that. But I knew it'd be a tough matchup for him right against Detroit.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that's a tough one having Jonathan Taylor having so few points for your squad. That hurts a little bit. But good to see Michael Pittman, I guess, get a few.
Yep.
Uh
Yeah. No
mo-
touchdown, but he almost had 100, I think, or so.
yeah, he did. I can't recall what exactly he had on it, but he got a total of 12 and a half points for Tyler, and I know he was targeted a lot more with Jonathan with Josh Downs going down. That kind of meant Pittman was going to get a few more targets, but yeah, tough week to have all three Colts players in your lineup when they only score a total of 6 points.
No
No bueno.
touchdowns.
Yeah. All right, moving on to your matchup. Not great and
Yeah.
Purdy injured. Had you on the ropes there for a moment, as
Uh,
you showed us.
yep.
But ultimately beat the Swifties, edged them out by about 20 points because
Old
Saquon is
Saquon.
good.
Yeah, he's amazing, actually.
You were saying that you kind of were iffy on taking him.
Yeah, I was. He's one of those running backs that was always getting injured when he was with the Giants. And then, like I was saying, I think Allison had him last year, and towards the end, he was playing like pretty good or whatever, and I noticed that. And then once I heard he was going to the Eagles, I kind of jumped on it. Felt like I was taking a big risk though, and hopefully nothing happens. But he looks great.
He does. He's the number one running back in our league right now. And he's looking to me better than CMC was even last year with these huge games he's putting up. So
Right?
nice pickup there with Saquon, man. That's huge. That's those are things that end up winning you leagues is because you have players such as that, such as a CMC last year, right? Things like so that's important.
Yeah.
And Allison, she was looking good. I mean, and it was unfortunate because the Eagles hadn't played yet, but projection wise, she was
I
showing to
know.
be ahead.
I felt bad because me and her made a trade or whatever, and she had those two players that I traded her, and those were both the ones that got injured. But
Oh,
I was sweating before it started because I'm like, man, like Robinson Jr. against Dallas or whatever. I figured
yeah.
he was gonna have a big game, and then Josh Downs, he's been the number one for targets on the Colts. So, but
Yeah, exactly. So she had players, and Brian Robinson is a guy who got injured early, came back to
right,
into the game to play a little bit more, and now they're potentially ruling him out for this coming week, I believe. And
yeah,
then
they said
Downs the
that.
same.
I think he re-aggravated it when he came back in, or his ankle, and that's tough because I think before this year, like earlier this year, he was dealing with the hamstring, so like it's all lower leg for him.
Yeah, which
The
is
problems
unfortunate.
he's having.
and he was looking good before, so tough to
Yep.
see that. But Darnold was a good fill-in while Purdy was injured. So
Yes.
her name came to fruition this past week of Purdy injured. But Darnold did well in his absence, especially against a usually tough Bears defense that hasn't looked as tough lately, and that defense has a tough road ahead against some pretty good competition. All right,
Yep.
move to the next one. And the Jerry Jones Hate Club taking the L to a bunch of jagoffs. Andy is now 2-0 versus Kyle this season. Um, what this did is ultimately gave Andy some more life, really fighting
For
for
the
that
playoffs.
playoff spot, you know. So that was a big time for him. And he played both Tampa Bay running backs, and they combined for almost 40 points
Right.
together. What do you think of that move?
Uh, I think it's a good move, especially the way that they've been playing them. It seems like every game, both of those guys are getting double digits, so they're going back and forth on them, and it's working out.
Agreed. I mean, both have looked good. Bucky looks more explosive, obviously, but they both have gotten the looks and they're doing well
Yeah,
with it.
I feel like White, he's kind of like their pass catcher. He gets all in the pass catching, and then
Hmm.
Bucky's running it. So
Yeah,
not
and looking
bad.
good. And Jalen Waddle have finally having a good game. I think the best game of his season. That was big for a bunch of jagoffs over there and Andy. That was huge. And unfortunately, on the other side, you know, Kyle had to play. Trey Benson has looked good, but he's still technically a backup. And when you're in a spot where you've got to play guys like
Right,
that, you don't feel as confident. And unfortunately, didn't come through. And Justin Jefferson getting only 3.7 points to his normal
right.
production is tough to
Who did
see as well.
they
So
played
that hurt him.
they played the Bears? Is that
Yep.
who they played? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, they locked him up, and then I think Addison got all the
Yeah.
catches and touchdowns.
Yes, you are correct in that. So,
Yep,
tough
that's
one
tough.
for the Jerry Jones Hate Club. There took the loss is 2-0. There's 0-2 now versus Andy. And on the outside looking in this playoff hunt. And then last but not least, we did have a nail biter, and it was the top teams basically in their divisions at the time. And it came down to the wire. Ultimately, Suckadicka edges out Leachologis by 6.5 points.
Yeah.
What did you see as maybe something that Suckadicka's team did well, or maybe Leachologis' team could have done better at?
Mm, I don't know. Everybody's got decent scores. I don't really see anything that stands out. Lamar Jackson could have got 8 more points. But oh yeah, I guess Montgomery went down, didn't he? Or they
Yeah,
yeah, so
that's
that's
true.
probably that was probably it for Louis, I would
Because they would
say.
have, yeah, they would have leaned on him in that matchup, especially with how much they were up and dominating that game.
Right.
So that's pretty true. He would have probably gotten more there. Um, it's always nice to see like that in these kind of games where it's the top teams going against each other. It's a real close matchup, and sometimes down to the nitty gritty. These aren't
Yeah,
two real high scores, but
I wanted Louis to get a win. Sam's just hanging out up there at the top all year. I'm trying to get in our division. I just want somebody to get him, but all his matchups, he's
no, I
lucking
get
out.
you there. I mean, for me, like Sam has taken it on, so he just keeps winning,
Right,
and um, we'll see in a second where the standings are. But yeah, he's still atop, and ultimately next week, if he wins, he clinches the number one seed. So,
right.
oh, hold on one second. Yeah, come on in. Hey, who's that?
Hey, girl,
That's
Hi.
how you?
yeah, it's Uncle.
Good. What are you up to?
Oh, just doing the podcast with your dad. When you come down here, you'll have to get in some of the machines. I'll show them to you. I heard that you're into that stuff right now, the digging
Okay.
machines.
Like the excavator and stuff.
Not the excavator.
Yeah, that's what Uncle
Yeah,
Bob does. He works with all that kind of
excavators, skid
machinery.
steer, dump
Oh.
trucks.
Those cool things that you're learning on Blippi. Yeah. So then here, you don't mind not touching that. But Uncle Bob said he might be able to show you some of the equipment and let you see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And get inside, see the different levers and things like that. It can be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you just get
Play,
to go see them in like action right up close, that's cool
yeah,
too.
could play in
Yeah.
the dirt.
Yeah.
Is that what you tell people you do all at work all day? You play in the dirt?
Pretty much, it's kind of funny how I work for a concrete company, and that's what I'm doing, all the dirt work. So,
That's cool. That is cool.
We did put decorations up for Christmas.
already? I thought you were
Yeah.
supposed to wait until after Thanksgiving.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought, Bob.
The girls have been trying to get me to let them start, and I said nope, after Thanksgiving,
I,
cause I got to get it all out.
I know I tried to do it a few days ago, but when it was nice, so it must have been like
Right,
Sunday or something, and it was actually still nice, but it was gonna get cold the next day. And my lights just weren't working. Like we got to get new ones, but
right.
I have an idea and a plan, but anyways, I just didn't have time. It got dark, so I couldn't do it anymore, and so I basically had to wrap up and not and ultimately just find out like half my lights didn't work anymore. I tried to fix them. I had the fuses, I replaced bulbs, I
Yeah,
did all this
that's
stuff,
always
and
fun.
yeah, so yeah, unfortunately that happened there. But so I'm gonna do them, I think, on Monday, but it's probably gonna be cold. It's supposed to get real cold now.
Yeah, the cold's coming for sure.
So, but I'm with you. I usually wait till after Thanksgiving. But no, they started already. But you're gonna be set up anyways.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sweet.
But at the end of the day, those are just weird stances that we end up taking because what does it matter?
Right, right.
Now I'm learning like just do on the last nicest day you can do it.
Yeah,
Basically, that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were helping me, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. You want to say bye to Bob?
Bye, Bob.
Love
Bye,
you.
sweetie. Love ya.
Bye, FFFL.
Bye, FFFL.
All right. Her weekly appearance happened. Cool.
Woohoo.
And right a good spot too, because we were moving on from week 12. So congrats to those who took W's home and earned playoff spots, security. And unfortunately, to those who did not, there still may be time. So let's find out about that. But before we do that, comment of the week this week. I chose Glenn's midweek sponsor break. Another great one. Last year, if you recall, he sent the video of, I think his like arcade that we had named after him.
Yeah.
I looked at it. So he always has good ones. So I appreciated that one a lot.
Yeah, it is pretty good. But yeah, Glenn. Thank you.
I know we can count on him to have videos at least one each year. So I like that.
Right.
We're counting on you for that next year as well, Glenn. All right. Now let's find out where we all sit after 12 weeks. Uh, Due to the battle at the top this week with Sam coming up victorious, or I say Suckadicka coming up victorious over Licho Logis, I was able to grab the number one spot in the East again. But me, the Denzel Winningtons and Licho Logis are tied at 8-4. Both have guaranteed playoff spots with Laws of Alonomics in third, Jerry Jones Hate Club in fourth, Meow Meow in fifth, and Not Great and Pretty Injured, the only one who unfortunately has signed their fate to not make the playoffs at 2-10, but still fighting for not being last place. So
Yeah. Good game, kid.
love it. And then in the West, we have Suckadicka at the top, who obviously are already guaranteed a playoff spot, but now this upcoming week 13 is trying to secure that number one seed just above you, and the Cases Aces at 8-4. But you are still high in point totals, which we'll get to, but you're behind him and you need him to lose in order to have a chance at that number one spot in the
Yep.
West. So uh and right behind you two at 8-4 are the Cheesehead champions at 7-5, who also secured a playoff spot because there's only one other team that can technically get to 7 wins, which would mean only 7 teams total would be at least at 500 going into the playoffs, which means that some of these other teams who are not quite at even if you go 6-8, you could have a chance here. But following the Cheesehead champs is a bunch of Jagoffs at 5-7 and Murphy's Law at 3-9, with still a 1% chance to make the playoffs, Tyler.
1%. That's all you need.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, let's go to the power rankings and take a look at some stats, why don't we? At the top, still suck a dick at 10-2 total. However, at number one in points and whooping all our asses is Beat the Swifties. That's you, sir, in the flesh on the screen.
Yeah.
Kicking our asses still. And still got a really high score this past week, one of the top ones. So nice job. You're sitting at third at this point, which I don't know why they have it that. It must be because I'm at the top of our division, but since we're at the same record,
Right.
that's interesting. But I'll have to take a look to see if that's a normal thing that they do or if there's a way that can adjust that in the future. Because I think like you should be at number two, and then I would
Right.
be below that. But anyways, Leaf Joe coming in at 4, and Cases Aces at 5. All of us are 8-4 and better. Then it comes to Cheesehead Champions at number 6 at right now with 7 victories. Laws of Alonomics at 7. Bunch of Jagoffs at 8. That rounds out the playoffs if they were to start today. With the Jerry Jones Hate Club, Meow Meow, Murphy's Law, and Not Great and Pretty Injured looking on the outside in. So we got a playoff race here, Bob.
Yep. Oh
Anybody that
yeah.
you think is, maybe in that middling ground that you say, hey, I think, while they're not guaranteed yet to make the playoffs, they might.
Mm, Andy and Zach, I think they're both right there because how many of us are already
So there's
locked
six
in?
secured. Six of us are
S-
secured in the playoffs.
Right.
So the six that you see at the top, 1 through 6. And then, yeah,
Yep.
you're right. Andy and Zach are at 7-8 right now. So they are slated to be in technically. But
Okay.
it's anybody's race right now. So,
Yeah. Kyle, he could definitely get in there. I think
yeah,
I
he
play
has.
him. I think I play him this week, so might not
Uh-oh.
might not work out for him.
But you're right. He has the highest point total of anyone who has not secured a playoff spot yet.
Yep.
So therefore, he could be, while he's on the outside looking in right now. If there's a couple of losses if Andy and Zach get a loss, he gets a win. They're all tied up at that point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you just gotta see. All right, let's move on to next week's matchups. Why don't we? Starting with a bunch of Jagoffs at 5-7 facing off against Leichologis at 8-4. We call this one second lunch,
Yeah.
as they might say in the office.
Little office battle.
Yeah, the office the show and the office battle. I love it, Bob. But both have pretty solid projections. So a bunch
Yep.
of Jagoffs led by Andy Stevens at almost 116 points, and Leichologis managed by Lewis Logis himself at just shy of 121. So just about a 5 point difference there.
Yep.
So very close and very high scoring. Any matchup you see that might make this lean one way versus the other?
Mm, Travis, maybe his tight end, Travis Kelsey going off playing against Las Vegas. If they
Yeah,
go off, I mean they look. I couldn't believe how close that game was with Carolina this past week. I thought that would have been a blowout.
yeah, that seemed like a team playing down to competition at that point, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
and then maybe hopefully Atlanta could get going. They've been kind of in a slump.
yeah, and that'll be important for Andy's team. Will
Yeah,
be those two guys, Bijan getting back on track because Bijan was looking great for a while. Just, I mean, had a down game compared to what he had been doing, but then they had to buy. So maybe it just seems like it's been a while since you've seen Bijan do it, but really it's only been one
right.
game. So hopefully he's back on track for him as well. That'll be important for that. And on the other side, David Montgomery's health. We'll see if he's able to go on Thursday. It
Oh
sounds
yeah.
like he will be, but something to keep an eye on with the Logis. All right, next up, Murphy's Law at 3-9 at the bottom of the West versus Laws of Alonomics at 5-7, third in the East. Both need the victory this week. While he is 3-9, Tyler's team is still in the playoff hunt. Like we said, we're saying there's still a chance.
Yep.
Whereas Laws of Alonomics also not guaranteed a playoff spot quite yet, but if he can get a victory here, I think he'd feel much better about that. What do you think is a difference in this matchup?
Uh, yeah. No, Tyler. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just hopefully the Bills don't play great for Tyler.
They are
Zach's
facing
got
San
Zach.
Francisco.
Yeah, Zach's got three, one, two, three of them. He's got three Bills players. Yeah, that's what I would say. I don't know. CJ Stroud could have a big game though against Jacksonville. He hasn't been putting up a huge number. He started off hot, but
Yeah, Jacksonville's not a good defense, so you're hoping he can
right.
as well. And they need that victory in general,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they're what 7-4, and I think they're leading the South.
Yeah, they are because Colts are right behind them. Colts are two games back.
Which, by the way, I forgot that I'm doing
Well,
Blizzard
Fireball.
Lick, Blizzard Licks.
Yeah,
Num num num. Okay, I forgot
but
about
that
that. It
game,
was sitting over here.
but that
Um,
game definitely has the potential to go either way. Oh, Alec Pierce though. I don't know. I can't see.
yeah, he has Alec Pearson. I don't know if he's a go or not. He's also questionable. Got to have Michael Pittman in, I think, because of that,
Right.
and having Downs out. We'll see what he can do there. But on Laws of Economics side, you're right. I mean, no matter who the Bills are playing, it's going to be an important matchup for Laws of Economics when you have that many Buffalo players. And he even has Amari Cooper on the bench, probably just kind of feeling like, do I really want to start, make half of my team Buffalo Bills players?
Yeah,
I
Mark
think that,
Cooper's kind of been. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like big for him, and he's going to put up big numbers, but he kind of been injured, and I think he's still learning their offense and how they roll.
right.
So that's probably not a bad idea for him to be on the bench. Because
No,
Khalil
I agree.
Shakir, I thought Shakir's looked a lot better for sure.
And like you said, knows the offense. That's always going to
Right,
be important with that. But I agree with you there. I obviously I'm going to lean the Laws of Alonomics way. Just I mean, to me it seems like it's there. However, San
right.
Francisco, if they start to actually turn it around, that could be a tough game for them. So it will hinge on that 49ers game. So we'll be really watching that one closely. Next up, we have Suckadicka at 10-2 and first in the West versus Meow Meow at 4-8 and fifth in the East. Will Suckadicka be clinching the first seed, or is Meow Meow clawing back into the
Come
playoffs?
on, meow meow. Let's get one. Come on.
So,
I didn't even
so,
realize it was that projection. I figured Sam would be projected higher. So
and I don't know if he has updated his roster. He does have a few people not listed like in his starting, so he may not have adjusted his starting lineup. However, I think a big one will be Meow Meow. Starting quarterback is Bo Nix,
yep.
and Suckadicka has Cortland Sutton, his number one weapon on the other side. Uh, do you think that will be a major factor in this matchup between Meow Meow and Suckadicka?
Yeah, probably. I would assume so. Sutton's kind of started picking it up. Him and Nick's clicking.
Yeah, been on
So
most, besides the first like couple of weeks maybe, but he's quietly the number 8 wide receiver in our league.
really, I
Yeah,
wouldn't even have thought he was in the top 10.
right. Like I would if you asked me, I said, oh, he's doing pretty good. I bet you was like 18, like 15
Right.
to 18,
Yeah.
because I know he's been playing well. No, he's number 8 overall.
Yeah.
So to me, that's pretty crazy. And on the
Yeah.
other side, you got a player similar. Uh, if I were to ask you what do you think Zay Flowers? Where is he at? What's his rank?
Uh, 12, 10 through 15, I would say,
He's number
probably.
6.
Number 6. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
right. And it is
That's
pretty crazy.
Those are probably the two receivers I've lost the most money gambling on this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Zay Flowers. Every time I pick him for a touchdown, he never gets it. And then Sutton, he had one game a couple weeks ago where he didn't do anything. So
Of course, because
that's
you bet
funny.
on him.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, those receivers will be a major impact on this matchup here. We'll see if there's any adjustments made to these lineups throughout the week. Okay, next up we have the Indianapolis Cases Aces at 8-4 and third in the West versus the Denzel Winningtons at 8-4 and first in the East. We got some sibling rivalry here.
Brothers.
Um, you know, I think I've turned it around. In the beginning of this league, he had my number and it was really
Mm.
tough. So I think there is a sibling rivalry going on, and we seem to play each other twice every year so far. So very interesting there. But um, projection wise, it I think it's further away than what will actually occur. I guess in
Right.
my mind, based on how his team has performed, like they seem to overperform, and I don't mean that in any bad way. I really mean that as like I think he had players that were under the radar that have done very well for him, like a
Right.
Jaden Daniels this year.
Yep. Yeah. He
Now
would
let
have
me
picked
ask you
all his
this:
players.
he's taken so far. He removed McLaurin from his starting lineup. What do you think about that? He put Jalen Warren against Cincinnati in over Terry McLaurin.
Hmm. Yeah,
What do you?
I like the Daniels and McLaren connection. Or McLaren, never mind. McLaren plays for
McLaurin, yeah.
yeah, McLaurin. Yeah, I I'd probably play McLaurin over Warren. Warren's just so spotty,
Yeah, and he's starting to get a little bit of run, but I don't know if it's enough to take me away from McLaurin. However,
right?
Tennessee does have a tough defense, and if L'Jarius Sneed is healthy, he'll be on McLaurin, I would assume. So
Right,
maybe it is a little tougher there. The only thing on my side I would say is that every player but one of mine is in an away game.
right,
And to me, that's also very impactful to a player's upside
for
is
sure.
that of being away. So I look at that as I don't like that aspect of my matchup this week. That 7 of my 8 positions are away, whereas only 2 of his are, and they're in the same game. And if he does make the switch to McLaurin, then he's got 7 of his 8 that are actually home. and I have
Right.
7 of 8 that would be away at that point. So that would be an interesting dynamic to look at to see how it impacts our scores and how it impacts the difference between projection as well. All right.
Good
Now
there.
we have the Cheesehead champions at 7-5. They clinched a playoff spot this past week by getting that W. They are fourth in the West. They are facing not great and Purdy injured at with a projection of 105, and they're at 2-10. Excuse me. Um, he does have J.K. Dobbins in his lineup. J.K. Dobbins is listed as doubtful for this week, so he is getting 0 points from that. So we'll probably add, he'll probably be around the 120 mark for a projection this week, is what I would imagine. In general,
Right.
putting their actual total about 15 points apart. Anything that you noted in this matchup, whether it be for Allison or for EJ, that might make it go one way or the other.
Mm, yeah, EJ's got a good team.
He does. I
Uh,
agree with that. Yes. When you
yeah, I
look at
don't
his
know.
team, he has, yeah, you're right. Patrick Mahomes, who's played better as of late, also, who's QB9. He was further down than that. I want to say he was like QB 15 for a while,
Right,
early in the season. Josh Jacobs at RB7, Chuba Hubbard at RB9. So you have two top 10 running backs on your squad. Amon-Ra St. Brown at wide receiver 2, and AJ Brown, who is wide receiver 14, and that's just because he's been injured and out.
right.
Otherwise, he's points per game wise right there next to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We'll see if Amon-Ra is healthy. Then you got so I think both those guys are two top 10 wide receivers in my mind. Then you have a Brock Bowers who's number 2 tight end in our league. So
Yeah,
like
I know. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
really
so
know what Allison can do to improve her odds here.
no,
It's tough.
but she's got some stuff to be able to I guess make a difference in it because I would say George Pickens at Cincinnati is a guy that I would look at as he could potentially get 25 points this week,
Right.
which would be huge for her. So I like him. And Jonnu Smith was a really good pickup at tight end. He's played really well the past month or so. So that's another
Yeah,
good spot that might be able to neutralize what Brock Bowers has been doing.
yeah,
But either way, technically EJ's in the playoffs, so if he loses, he's still in the playoffs. Allison not in it, but she needs that victory to not be last place and you
tied
know,
up.
yeah, having all of the stuff thrown at her for that. All right. I got you coming up next. So you beat the Swifties at 8-4, second in the West right now, with a projection at around 125, going up against the Jerry Jones Hate Club at 4-8 and fourth in the East. Outside looking in for the playoffs with a projection of 103. Who do you like this week on your squad to take Kyle's lunch money?
I'm expecting Joe to come back strong this week after his performance last week against Tennessee.
I
That's
like
like the
that
main
call.
that's the main player, I think. I mean, hopefully DK Metcalf can start to do something. He's super spotty. I'm interested to see how Saquon and Henry stack against each other, number one and number two running back. That would be kind of cool to see who wins that battle.
I did not make that note at all. So nice job. Kudos to you on that because you're right. I didn't notice that. But look, this is
Yeah,
a huge difference. So this to me is what's different about Saquon and making him easily the CMC from last year, but I think even better this year. He is almost 5 points ahead in average than Derrick Henry at number 2.
right.
Like that's crazy. Like normal, like if you actually kind of look at, I guess, look at the position or look at the number, like you'll see Mixon. Okay, so Mixon at 25.4 average, like it's not far off from Derrick Henry's at that point. whereas
Right.
Saquon's is that much further ahead. Like it's just nutty. Um, but yeah, that will be interesting because Philly's defense is tough against the run, but so is Baltimore's, and they're at Baltimore. So that'll be also interesting to see those two running backs go up against two good run Ds. So
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, we're watching that Baltimore Philly game, right? That's got to be like a game of the week or something like that.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Got to be. All right, Bob. Well, that wraps it up for us this week after week 12. Again, man, thank you for joining me during this Thanksgiving week, like you will moving forward as well.
Yep.
What do you got planned for
My
Thanksgiving?
week.
Yeah. What do you got planned
Yeah.
for it?
Nothing. We're gonna be over with the fam tomorrow. We're just doing one Thanksgiving this year over
Okay.
there. Autumn. We're gonna do Autumn and Zach's family
Okay.
and all that, and then just gonna come back here and hang out, and watch some football.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
taking it easy. 4 day
we're
weekend.
heading to Schaumburg now. That's where we're gonna go is stay with Allison's family, do
Sweet.
Thanksgiving. They got like 20 people coming over. It's awesome. It's awesome. Like they have um usually the same group every year, and we have like Nerf wars in the basement, which
Right.
once every year. That's something that we has happened more in the very recency. I'd say the last probably 3 years, 4 years, something like that. So it wasn't
Yeah.
always a part of it, but it's become a part of it with one of the family members that always comes each year. He's now I think in middle school or maybe like end of middle school now, but pretty fun Nerf wars in the basement.
Yeah, those Nerf guns, man, they're not like they were when we were younger. Like they're insane now. Fully automatic and blasting.
Yeah, and he's got a few good ones, but they have some decent ones too. But you're right. I mean, it's very like pull back, shoot, pull
Yep.
back, shoot.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's a pow, pow, pow.
Yeah. They're wild.
Yeah, but it's so we're looking forward to it. But again, thank you for coming on. Happy Thanksgiving to you, the
Yep.
family over there.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to the whole family league.
Yeah, the
Hope
FFFL.
everybody eat
But
a bunch of
happy
food.
happy tea gives to all. Louis, I'll give
Yeah.
little tongue punch to the fireball right there for Louie. Hope you all have a good one. Take care of each other, and we will see you after this week. Good luck, everybody.
Later, guys.
Bye.